The writer, V, formerly known as Eve Ensler, told me, recalling her sexual abuse by her father as a young girl. It's a landscape of dread and betrayal and sorrow and cruelty. The last place you want to be is in your body. And so you begin to live in your head. You begin to live up here without any ability to protect your body, to know your body. Look, I had a tumor the size of an avocado inside me and I didn't know it. That's how separated I was from myself. Although the details of my past diverge wildly from V's, I know whereof she speaks. For many years the most difficult question that could be put to me was, "What are you feeling?" My customary response was an irritated, "How should I know?" I faced no such problem on being asked what my thoughts were. On those I am a tenured expert. Not knowing how or what one feels, on the other hand, is a sure sign of disconnect from the body. What causes such a disconnect? In my case, the answer requires no speculation. As an infant in wartime Hungary, I endured chronic hunger and dysentery, states of acute discomfort threatening and distressing to adults, let alone to a 1-year-old. I also absorbed the terrors and unrelenting emotional distress of my mother. In the absence of relief, a young person's natural response, their only response really, is to repress and disconnect from the feeling states associated with suffering. One no longer knows one's body. Oddly, this self-estrangement can show up later in life in the form of an apparent strength, such as my ability to perform at high level when hungry or stressed or fatigued, pushing on without awareness of my need for pause, nutrition, or rest. Alternatively, some people's disconnection from their bodies manifests as not knowing when to stop eating or drinking. The enough signal doesn't get through. In whatever form, disconnection is prominent in the life experience of traumatized people and is an essential aspect of the trauma constellation. As was the case for V, it begins as a natural coping mechanism on the organism's part, and a mandatory one. She could not have survived her childhood horrors had she stayed present in and aware of her moment-by-moment experience of physical and emotional torment, fully taking in what was happening. And so these coping mechanisms ride in the wings of grace, as it were, to save our lives in the short term. Over time, though, if untended to, they become stamped on the psyche and soma, indelibly so, as conditioned responses harden into fixed mechanisms that no longer suit the situation. The result is chronic suffering and frequently, as we will proceed to explore, even disease. What was so remarkable about my encounter with cancer, V told me, was that the whole journey from waking up after a 9-hour surgery and losing several organs and 70 nodes, I woke up with bags and tubes and everything coming out of me,